There we go. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today's AMA. For those who don't know, X.com is registered in Seychelles and has been serving users since 2018. The company is here to provide new trading opportunities to users all over the world. My name is William, and I'll be your host for this AMA. And I'll be speaking with Ronald Mitchell, Advisory Board Member of Gold Plugin. Thank you very much for making time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Could you kindly introduce yourself?
Yeah, certainly. My name is Ronald Mitchell. I'm on the Plugin Advisory Board for maybe about a half a year now. I had worked with Vinod over at Plugin for the last year or so, just on the back end, not very public. And some things changed, and I recently doxed in the crypto world. And pretty much the moment I doxed myself, Vinod reached out and asked if I'd publicly, become a board member, and I was happy to oblige that. Been a follower and a community member of PLI for a very long time, and I highly support the network. So was happy to join and just move forward, helping the network grow.
Great. Yeah. Welcome to the Web3 industry. So we got some questions for you tonight, and we're also open to receiving questions from the viewers. So if you have any questions about Go Plugin or their token, feel free to leave in the comments, and our team will pick out your questions and we'll have them addressed. So I do have a few questions of myself. So let's get started. First and foremost, can you tell us about Go Plugin project and what kind of problem it is trying to solve as a cryptocurrency project?
Yeah, absolutely. So Plugin is a decentralized blockchain oracle. Oracles are entities that connect blockchains to external systems, enable smart contracts to execute based upon the inputs and the outputs from the real world. So smart contracts, as we know them, they interact off-chain data. What PLI Decentralized Oracle does is it bridges the two environments, allowing for on-chain smart contracts to interoperate with off-chain data. Basically, Plugin Decentralized Network allows for creation of hybrid smart contracts where on-chain code and off-chain infrastructure are combined to support dApps that react to real-world events and interoperate with the traditional systems.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. So if I remember correctly, Go Plugin is deployed on the XDC chain.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it's like an enterprise chain, right?
Yeah, it's a hybrid enterprise-ready blockchain.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to a lot of adoption on that end. I expect a lot of institutional investors and entities getting into blockchain soon enough. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I got another question. So how does Go Plugin differ from other Oracle projects currently on the market? So I believe we have a few other ones like Band Protocol on Cosmos ecosystem. We also have the big one, Chainlink. Yeah, could you shed some light on that?
Yeah, so Plugin is primarily focused on being the Oracle solution of the XDC network. It is the only Oracle on the XDC network. XDC had partnered with Chainlink several years back. That was before Plugin's existence. But being the Oracle of the XDC network, it allows for fast and efficient pull requests at a fraction of the cost. So just an example, let's say that there's a stable coin that's deployed by banks across the world, and they issue pull requests 3 times a day for real-time on-chain proof of reserves. So this on-chain proof of reserve is dependent upon accurate off-chain data that is secured from an on-chain Oracle solution, such as Plugin, such as Chainlink. The difference here is the XDC network is 5 to 10 times faster than the Ethereum network, and the gas per transaction is a fraction of a cent. So this makes data transfers more efficient and cost effective. So like in this example we're discussing here, multiple pulls 3 times a day, throughout the month, Plugin's fee for this customer would be about $3, where Chainlink would be about $1,200. So, one would ask, like, okay, well, we're in a speculative market. It's instability on price. Well, like, plugin is 6 cents right now. So let's pretend that we do like a 15, 16x and we make it to $1. That's still, the example above is still like $50 a month for the client versus $1,200 a month. And that's assuming that Chainlink doesn't increase in price when PLI does a 16x or 15x or whatever. So the price point here is pretty lucrative for businesses to consider something that's way cheaper and something that's way faster. So I'm pretty confident that, at least within the XDC ecosystem, that every project coming on board the XDC network, plug-in PLI token will be the oracle of choice.
Yeah, I think the PLI Go plugin Oracle makes a lot more sense to smaller enterprises who can't afford thousands of dollars just to pull on-chain data or off-chain data on vice versa. Actually, you make a really good use case. Absolutely. Let's move on to another question. Perhaps can you give us a little overview of Go Plugin's PLI token and its use cases?
Yeah, for sure. Tokenomics is what everybody wants to know about, right? So Plugin's max supply is 500 million. So that's capped. There will never be any more minting of tokens. So when they launched, the XDC network did not have decentralized exchanges. So it was an initial exchange offering back in, I believe, October of 2021. So initial exchange offering in 2021. Today we have just a little over 60 million circulating of the 500 million. So not bad, right? The market cap is really low, something around 3-4 million, I believe. So from that standpoint, it's not bad at all, right? We've maintained a robust tokenomics through controlled minting, very sustainable incentives for our stakers and our nodes and things like that. And the distribution to the team for the ecosystem development, like all of those funds are very effective in distribution. We believe that we've strengthened the tokenomics with our optimistic transformation. We recently added new features such as node restaking and yield farming. So like node restaking, we had our Oracle nodes where we were giving them rewards and that just drops into their wallet, right? Now we have it to where the rewards drop in, like, back into the node, because the node has a maximum staking capacity. So if you're under that, it just more or less compounds the reward versus just dropping into the wallet, right? And then we did have a single-sided staking mechanism, which we put a halt to, and we will be moving more of a yield farming to get the community like more involved with the project, not just stake and forget about the project and come back a year later, but be more focused and involved by providing liquidity. Right now we have about 1,800 Oracle nodes in which we do provide rewards. The minimum staking requirement is 2,000 PLI. The maximum is 10,000 PLI. So there's a range within that 1,800 nodes of how much people have staked, right? So the inflationary model that we see here of rewarding the PLI token, it's very flexible and sustainable for maybe 20, 25, 30 years, depending on that flexibility part of if the rewards are lowered, if they're raised to provide incentive. So it's flexible in nature, so we can't really give a sustainability, but I mean, we're looking 20 to 30 years, right? We will soon implement a mechanism that reduces the circulating supply by permanently locking PLI. That really hasn't been announced yet, so this could be the first time you're hearing about that. So I do look forward to a public announcement where we share that details with the community. But there are many use cases in which the PLI token can be leveraged while adopting dApps onto the XDC network. Just a few examples are DeFi institutions, price feedbacks. We have an operation of weather forecasting nodes, crop loss compensation, flight delay compensation, like you name it. So PLI is not like any other token on the market. It is built for utility, and the more use cases are being adopted and developed on chain that will leverage Oracle solutions. So, like, because we are the Oracle of XDC, every dApp being built is most likely going to utilize PLI as the Oracle service. I believe in that firmly, and that's why I've been a community member for such a long time, and now sit in the advisory board position I have today. So I'm very confident in the success that PLI has to come.
Hey, you made some really good points. I like how you guys also are thinking about user experience, about being able to restake instead of actually having the tokens drop to the wallet and then restaking it all again manually. But absolutely, I think community is definitely a big part of it. I also believe that if the enterprise grade, since it's an enterprise change, we are probably waiting for a lot of regulation to come in before big companies jump in to the whole Web3 industry. By then,
Yeah.
things are just going to sail easily. So I believe we're really early in the whole adoption curve. But by the time we do get enterprise praise, like companies jumping in, that's probably when we're going to start seeing major interesting deployments and dApps, as market changes to the use cases of your Oracle. Right.
Yeah.
Right. We have a question by Mr. Gilang. Burning is a great way to decrease the token fluctuation, which will have a positive price impact. Do you have any other plans to increase the price value of PLI token?
So that's a really good question. Where I sit here, discussing price is not really something that we do.
You're in
Regardless
it
of
for
what
the long haul.
Yeah, well, I mean, regardless of what the price is, the Oracle and the data feeds and the price feeds, they happen. The price of the token is just dependent on what the client is going to pay to pull that data, right? But, I mean, for the sake of answering the question, the more dApps come on the network, will be more use. So the more use case we have, the more pulls from the data feeds we get. They pay with PLI to get those data feeds. So the more dApps built on XDC that utilize PLI, the more tokens that will be bought on market to pay for those services. As well as I mentioned that, in the coming future, there's going to be an implementation to where I'll just say, I don't know what I can say or what I can't because it
Fair
maybe
enough.
it's not public, but
But
there,
think of it
there
this
will
way.
be a mechanism, right, that people pay PLI to use the service, and that is staked permanently. So we're not going to say it's burnt, but it's more so going to be staked permanently, which pulls it out of circulation.
Yeah, so I see it this way. Since it's an enterprise grade blockchain, and when you have like a big company start using XDC for its features, they themselves have a, a big boat of clients, and then because of that, each one of those clients pulling data or uploading off-chain data, that itself will be create a huge demand, and that, from what it sounds like, that should be able to answer the question. Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
So, I mean, XDC itself is like, we've been around for years, but from a sense of maturity, in the last run, they were, 2 billion market cap. And I think from top 100 standpoint, I think we made it down to like 69. So like, just imagine when, all the enterprise institutions come in, trade finance, like zero doubts that XDC will be a top 20, top 10 cryptocurrency. And like when that happens, there's going to be so many dApps built on top of XDC that are utilizing our Oracle services that, there's going to be a lot of use for the token. Therefore, it's going to have to be bought, on the exchange. So I can't really speculate on price, brother, but I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the market sooner or later is going to be it's not, no one's going to have a monopoly of any specific industry, regardless if it's like a layer one chain, layer two side chains. That goes the same for oracles. There's going to be multiple oracles in use. That's probably even the safer way. So all we can do is wait and see and wait for the regulations.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Wait, we have another question from Mr. Bang Akbar. Hey, Mr. Ronald, what is your favorite part of building on top of XDC? Have you ever taken into account any other blockchain, and why have you decided to stay on XDC? So if I rephrase the question, why did Go Plugin choose XDC to deploy on? Why not, say, Polkadot using Substrate or Cosmos ecosystem? Or say just directly on layer one Ethereum? Well, that you probably answered that question. Or why not Polygon, the sidechain? Why XDC?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not a developer per se, so I don't know that I can give a legit answer here. But, XDC with the hybrid nature of public and private chains that the enterprise grade level institutions are coming in. I mean, it's really just more focused on business and trade finance, and it makes sense to be fast, efficient, and XDC network is just what they chose. So I'm happy they did, right? Because I've always been an XDC fan, and having Plugin join us to be the Oracle of XDC has just been a blessing for the whole network.
Yeah, I think there's only a handful of blockchains that are specifically catered to businesses. So XDC, if that's what they're going for, like there's always going to be different blockchains for different niche markets. In terms of the enterprise, all we can do is just wait for the regulation to jump in. That's my 2 cents of it.
The hybrid nature of XDC, having the public and the private sides, it makes a huge difference when you look at banks and regulated institutions. They have to have that private side. Like, all data can't be public. So, if you're going to plug in with institutions, you're going to have some sort of private network, and XDC checks that box.
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, thank you very much, Bang, for asking the question. Let's move on. I got another question for you. So let's talk about Go Plugin strategy for addressing potential regulatory challenges in the cryptocurrency space.
Regulatory challenges, boy, that was a fun one, right?
That's a bumpy one. I'm sure we'll see a lot more interesting drama in the next few years, back and forth.
Geez, like I've been following the whole XRP case like forever, right? So with Plugin and XDC, so like we're the decentralized Oracle of the XDC network, which is a product of Suvic Technologies FZE, which we are a license to trade in proprietary crypto assets, the issuance of tokens. We're registered with Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park Authorities, which is a free zone authority in the UAE here in Dubai. We're on the up and up as far as regulations are concerned, where we're located. We do support global regulation. As global standards are developed, regulators are encouraged to use all existing tools at their disposal and address the rising local risk that we see. At Plugin, we believe blockchain is immutable and fully transparent, right? So by identifying...
Oh, I believe we might have a small little technical issue here. Oh, I hear you again. You're back. Yep. Yeah. So considering XDC has a private and public side to it, I believe that pretty much gives us the opportunity to address these challenges, as you said. Yeah. Wonderful. Let's
Yeah.
move on. Oh, yeah. You have something to add?
Well, I was just going to say, like, from a regulatory standpoint, like we were the first to take initiative within the XDC network to provide proof of reserves for our staking node operators, the yield farmers, the weather forecast nodes. Like we helped our community stay up to date on the staking details and verify those reserves themselves. So even before the regulation steps in and are forcing these proof of reserves, like we've been doing that just to make sure that our community was safe and taken care of.
I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a standard of the industry a year or two later down the road, because sooner or later people want to know if it's actually there or not. And having that beforehand, that's basically you're well ready for any regulations that comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, at Plugin, we're on the up and up, and we support regulation. We just wanted to provide a level playing field for all. So we're doing our part to stay on the up and up, and just hope that everybody else does, and we hope that the regulation that comes is fair and equal for all, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, well said. Let's move on to another question. How does Go Plugin ensure security and scalability for trustless data?
Yeah, so scalability has highly increased due to the cost factors we discussed earlier, right? We're partnered with Tej Lab for our data source. Tej Lab is at forefront for applying data science and machine learning to help organize and evolve challenges at the API economy. They were the first to bring solutions designed for API governance to enterprise at global scale. So it takes care of finding vulnerabilities, maintaining high data availability and stability at the API layer. So like Tej Lab brings so much to Plugin. Like they're a key component to our success for sure. But we're also coming up with a 3-tier Oracle network pool, which will greatly increase the response time and effective RPC and WebSocket management tools. So like everything is evolving. It's always changing. Blockchain is a never stop industry. Like you just have to Web3, you just have to keep working and moving. We currently providing aggregated data for every index pair, and we have abstracted the complex steps to DApp developers and end customers. So bringing in an index price pair or any data on chain literally takes minutes at this point. It's more or less like a plug and play, like plug in, right? Plug and play. Like we're ready to
You ready to go and plug in?
Plug people in and bring the index and on-chain data to their DApp in a matter of minutes.
You made a really good point about like improving has improved like response time, and I think like for a lot of like DeFi platforms that's like essential, because if you don't have a fast Oracle to pull data from, people could malicious players and actors, they can take advantage of the delay and they can just wreak havoc on DeFi platforms, and we've seen that before, like in big DeFi platforms that I shall not name, but for those who may know, it has given some very interesting arbitrage opportunities, but yeah, for lack of never, like I think the DeFi industry is still a little bit young and they're still learning how to play, but they definitely learned their lesson that Oracle response time is essential for any DeFi platform. And coming forward, I have no doubt that they'll probably need more than one Oracle, if not use multiple different chains to pull data from.
Yeah, man, those front running bots are something else when you have 10 to 20 second block times, where XDC is at about 2 seconds on block time. So
that's a very big difference. Yeah, but like now that we have the AI like coming in, man, they just get better on their end. Let's just
Yeah,
hope for the better that technology evolves on both sides. So we got a question
for
from
sure.
Hector Martin. Too many projects promise magic, but never release any working product or prove any revenue. Within a short, long time of release, what makes PLI different from other projects?
Yeah, Hector, that's a good question. I mean, we're up and live. Like our product is in use today, and there's more dApps being built that are going to leverage the PLI um, token through the Oracle itself, right? So, I mean, we didn't make empty promises. Like we brought a solution to the XDC network by providing an Oracle. We have those those almost 2,000 Oracle nodes right now that provide safe and secure data, and so like I mean we're leading full march ahead with a working product. So yeah, I agree with you that there's so many empty promises out there, and there's so many tokens that are being sold that do not have a working product, much less an MVP. But here at Plugin, I mean, we're offering an Oracle solution that's live, ready to go, and you can plug in with just in a couple of minutes to your dApp, and you're getting live feeds. So yeah, great question, but we're ahead of everybody else because our product is up and running.
Yeah, I think that makes like a very good point where like since you're already deployed, that gives enterprises and they do need time to even consider deploying and integrating all this blockchain technology in their current workflow. So I think that makes all the biggest difference. And since they're waiting for regulatory compliance, it's just a big long chain of waiting game. And as like the Oracle at the very end of the waiting game, all you can do is just wait for all once they get all the compliance and regulatory clarity, they can jump in and you start using the technology. And I believe that's when you start thinking, oh, the magic come into play.
Yeah, I
Wonderful.
mean, I don't want to like hold you up here, but
Mhm.
when you look at trade finance, the current English law and regulation does not allow for digitization of the paper products. So the moment the law changes with trade finance and different passing of papers become digitized, it's going to change the game, and the floodgates will open not only for XDC, for lots of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology itself, right? But um, XDC is the first mover advantage in a $21 trillion industry of trade finance. So the moment the law changes and documents can be digitized, then we move forward with PLI Oracle services being heavily used.
Some countries have, I'm not going to name which ones, but some certain countries, they do have laws where that you are forced to have at least 10 years worth of paper trail until they change those laws. Because sooner or later, I mean, who wants to waste all that paper and store it? And you need space to store all that for big corporations, even small ones like patent offices. They have 10 years worth of paper trail. So the moment they change that law, everything changes. So
Yeah,
we just got to wait for the
absolutely.
legacy. Absolutely. Let's move on. We got a question from Pew Pew. Can you tell us about your efforts to expand globally, including non-English speakers, so that plugin mining is accessible to everyone, regardless of region? So I believe they're probably talking about like node staking in this specific context.
So I honestly don't know that I have an answer for that. I know that we're looking at expanding like some different telegrams with different languages, but if if the user if the user here with the question,
I
if
think
they
he
don't
might be
mind,
misunderstanding because people can run their own nodes on the network. So if you want to quote unquote mine, I believe you'd have to run your own node in this case and stake your PLI tokens.
yeah. So I mean, any region that's acceptable by the local regulation of that jurisdiction, right? So I don't know all of the laws of different jurisdictions, but If your jurisdiction allows, anybody from any region can spin up a node, or they could provide liquidity on a DEX and yield farm. So there's definitely opportunity for everyone out there to run nodes. And there's about to be 3 different layers of nodes. There's there's the Oracle nodes, there's the weather nodes. I mean, there's so much opportunity within this space to earn PLI as a reward. So definitely, everyone from any walk of life, any region of the globe could be utilizing this reward program.
Yeah, so there's no limitations on the Go plugins end. So it all comes down to the country you're in, the regulatory compliance, and whether you're allowed to do so. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good point. Let's move on. We have another question. According to the project's roadmap, what are your most important next priorities?
Yeah, so I would encourage everybody to check out the roadmap for 2023. It's in crypto terms, it's pure fire. There's so many dApps being built right now. We have let's see, how would you call it? It's called XSyn. It's like a synthetic trading operation to over collateralize, get synthetic assets, and then trade them. It recently won, I believe, first place in one of the hackathons. So that will be open for testing soon and deployed in the near future. I mentioned earlier the dApp for farming, and there's a dApp for healthcare. There's a dApp for airline travel and delays. There's so many new things that are being built currently during this bear market of 2023 that will go live. They're not empty promises. Like, they're almost built. It's almost time for the community to join testnet and test them out before they go live. So very exciting times. Like, if you haven't checked out the roadmap, go to Plugin's Twitter page and just kind of scroll down until you find the announcement where there's a link to that roadmap. And maybe I'll ask the team if they can retweet that so that it's at the top. The roadmap is fire. I'm really excited for 2023 to come to an end with all these dApps being deployed and see what 2024 brings us.
Yeah, wonderful. I think that's a very big point, if whether you actually have dApps integrating the Oracle or not. And since you have a whole bunch lined up in 2023, that actually shows adoption. And without that, well, you can't see enterprise or even like retail use or small software companies starting to utilize these oracles for data feeds. And so that's something to definitely look forward to.
The ones I mentioned are just dApps that our team are building ourselves. But I mean, there's over 30 dApps being built right now on the XDC network. And as I said before, like, it's not guaranteed that they use PLI, but we are the Oracle of the XDC network. So I'm not sure why you would go to a more expensive, slower Oracle when PLI is fast, efficient, and cost effective. So, like, I'm pretty biased, but it is what it is.
And that's what we're here for, your biased opinion. Yeah, I think you made a really good point with okay, we have another question. How does Go Plugin plan to drive adoption and increase usage of its Oracle services in the future? So
yeah, I think that was pretty much answered in what we just said. As we ourselves develop these dApps, and then there's 30 dApps plus being built on XDC right now, the adoption and use case of the Oracle just is going to continue to snowball and get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Absolutely. Yeah, with a proper dApp economy, I think that really does expand the whole ecosystem as a whole. And without dApps, then you lack the need for oracles. But the moment you have them, that gives the opportunity for people to actually utilize the Oracle itself. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, with the plug and play technology that we have, like, we just need dApps, right? So as long as dApps are building on XDC, they can plug in with plugin, right? And and plug and play in 5-6 minutes, and you're good to go. So our developers are amazing. They've made it real simple for the DApp and end user to just plug in and have an Oracle. So
I'd see this like as whereas you have enterprises on XDC, and if they start using Go plugin as their go-to Oracle, then whomever, whichever company or whichever team that actually works with that enterprise would also use Go plugin's Oracle feed as well. So I see there's massive opportunity for adoption. If people want to follow, definitely go to Go plugin Twitter. I think that's probably one of the best ways to get the
yeah,
latest news. Wonderful. Let's move
yeah.
on. We got another question. So can you? Oh, we got one from Mr. Toon. What are the key features of this project to help users benefit? So it probably means like retail consumers. What are all my possibilities in this project? In what ways can I increase my income? Okay, so from a end user point of view, if they want to, then they're looking at Go plugin. How would they um, earn a yield?
Yeah, so I can't really speak on price speculation, but from a yield earning perspective, there's going to be three different layers of nodes in which you can spin up a node and earn PLI as a reward that way. And then, like I said, we're about to launch a yield farming platform in which you could add liquidity to a number of dexes and receive the LP token for that particular DEX, and then come and stake it in our yield farm and generate PLI as a reward.
Yeah. So definitely look into um, deploying a node. They have three different nodes. I believe like you don't really need like a super fast gaming computer to deploy these nodes. Probably get one of those like small little Pi computers and be able to do so. So that's something definitely look into. Yeah,
Yeah,
very good
so
question.
there's a lot of solutions out there for different VPNs and whatnot. Maybe I won't name them per se, but for $4 or $5 a month subscription, you can plug into this VPN and that really runs the node for you. So it's not on your device per se. It's on this VPN that you pay $5, $6 a month to rent. And a lot of people are doing that. And there's multiple servers out there that at different price points as well, right? So just finding the right one and staying plugged in and making sure that they're online at all times. But in today's market, they maintain 24/7, 100% online sustainability, which makes it nice, so that our Oracle runs without any hiccups.
Yeah, the cloud technology has given us so much opportunity. So for those who don't want to run hardware themselves, that's definitely another option. Absolutely, well said. We got one more question from Norbert, and he says, "Plugin have feature stake PLI. Can you tell us what is the unique staking process or method of plugin? Are there minimum amount of PLI need to stake?" So it's a staking question. What is
Yeah,
the
so
minimum?
with the nodes, if you're going to run a node, the minimum is 2,000 PLI, and then the maximum is 10,000 PLI. So, like when this project first launched, last year, or maybe it's 2 years ago now, the price of the token was like averaging right at about $1. So to max a node out at 10,000 was like 10 grand. Now today we're sitting at like 6 cents. So, in bear market times is the perfect opportunity to maximize these staking opportunities to max out, that level of stake, get yourself 10,000 PLI, spin up a node, and then reap maximum rewards. Don't quote me here, but I believe the node rewards currently are 10% per month. So at an APY level, that's 120% APY. So if you had 10,000 PLI staked for your node, like you're earning over 10,000 per year, right? So pretty significant earnings. When the farm, the farm for liquidity, when it launches, I'm not for sure what the yield is going to be on that, but I suppose that it would be pretty good because the network wants the community to be active and they want the community to participate. And then, like I said earlier, when we were going over tokenomics, there's only 12% of our supply circulating. So there's 20 to 30 years of sustainability on offering some sort of reward for community participation, and increasing the liquidity on dexes is like the best possible way the community could participate if they're not going to run a node per se.
So apparently there's more than one option for those who are no hardware or computer savvy. You can run your own node, but those who don't, absolutely join one of these liquidity pools and one of these DeFi platforms. You can absolutely learn and yield that way. So yeah, absolutely. So it's not just staking on nodes itself, but definitely a lot more opportunities for different range of end users. Yep. Thank you very much, Norbert, for asking the question. Do we have another question? Yes, we do. By Mr. Toon again. What are the key features of the project? Oh, I believe we had that one already. Another one. We got Mihide Hassan. And partnership is always an important factor for every project. So who is your partner? What are the benefits you get from those relationships? I'm not too sure how much you can disclose on in this regard, but is there anything on your end, Ronald?
I mentioned Tej Labs earlier. They're one of our significant partners, just bringing data to the oracles. But we do have some partnerships that I can't disclose. Actually, I'm on the island of Puerto Rico right now, and I will be flying to Dubai on Saturday to have some meetings with Plugin team, and we're scheduled to meet with some potential partners to discuss that relationship. So yeah, man, partners are in the works. I wish I could share more, but unfortunately not. But I can tell you that I'm excited to fly to Dubai in 2 days to shake hands and rub shoulders with some new partners.
Yeah, completely understandable. Yeah, so for those who are interested in future partnerships, please go to their Twitter site, follow them, and you'll find out when you find out when it's available. Wonderful. Let's move on. We got another question. Neo, each project has interesting stories before it is created. So can you tell people about the story that gave you the motivation to build and develop a great project? So in this case, since you're not a developer, perhaps you can share like one of your story, whether what got you motivated to join the Web3 community, or got you motivated to join the Go plugin.
Yeah, that's a great question, Neo. I wish I had an answer from the plugin team, but like for myself, I just see blockchain technology as like the fourth industrial revolution per se. I believe that everything will be digitized and tokenized. It's just a matter of time. The rules and regulations that we spoke about earlier in this video, the laws have to change and allow for digitization. But blockchain technology is not going anywhere. Regulation is not going to push it out. I mean, it's here to stay. We just need regulatory clarity. So for me, the XDC network is kind of the network that I chose from a very, very early stage to kind of embrace. I did a deep dive in the public and the hybrid, public and private nature of the hybrid XDC network. It really grabbed my attention early on. And so I ran with that, and with enterprise ready, all the institutional use, trade finance, like so much is going to flood into the XDC network. We're the first mover advantage within the trade finance space from a blockchain standpoint, the XDC network. So just to grab hold of Plugin being the oracle of the XDC network, I mean, frankly, sky's the limit for the partnerships and the use cases that Plugin will leverage the PLI token for every dApp that's going to be built on XDC, as well as every dApp that is being built with Plugin. All of the Web 2 companies that are going to be merging and transitioning into Web 3, like if they come through the PLI network and XDC, they're going to be leveraging PLI tokens. So the future is bright, very bright.
No, thank you very much for explaining that, Neil. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight in where the project is moving towards. Yeah, do we have another question from the crowd? Yes, we do. One from Lala. Can you list the plugin distinguishing traits that set it apart from its competitors? I think we might have covered this a little bit earlier when we talked about like the distinctive advantages that Go plugin has over other oracles. But it says, what is your platform competitive edge that you are most confident in?
Yeah, so that's going to go back to what we discussed about XDC itself being 2,000 transactions per second, 2-second block time. Because we are built on top of the XDC network, that means that when you do a pull request from our oracles, you're going to get your price feed or your data in that 2-second block time. So just the fact that we're within the XDC network, our data feeds are much faster and from a price point that's much more affordable. So that in itself brings people to the network, to our oracle. But then you look at the plug and play technology that our developers have provided. It's such an easy setup to bring your dApp, plug it in to our oracle, and just request data. So fast, efficient, cheap, and the ease of integration set us apart from everybody else.
Yeah, I think that you make a really good point. That does really help adoption really easy, since a lot of companies out there, big enterprises, they don't have their own blockchain department, and they need to be able to easily deploy oracles and start moving data on chain and off chain easily. So having that that improved user experience and making things a lot easier for non-blockchain developers and non-blockchain companies, that makes all the difference. Yeah, thank you very much for asking that, Lala. Do you have another question from? Okay, so let's move on. So could you provide any updates on upcoming developments? Miles, I believe we might have gone over this when one of the viewers asked the questions. So for those who are interested in the roadmaps, yeah, definitely stay tuned. Do you have any specific developments in the pipeline from the team that you can share?
I can explain a couple developments, like the XN dApp is just going to be a marketplace where you can trade synthetic assets. Currently, XDC doesn't offer anything to the such. So having synthetic assets that you can over collateralize and borrow and trade against will be pretty fun. The farming dApp. I come from a small town in Texas where there's a lot of farmers, and we had what you would call like farming insurance. So farmers pay insurance, and then in Texas, we're known for having droughts. There's never rain. It's crazy hot. So a lot of times, farmers' crops don't take, and they have to file insurance claims, which means that, an insurance adjuster has to come out, takes 2 or 3 months. They file a claim, they do all the paperwork, and then you might get paid what you thought that you were going to get paid. With plugins DApp, you sign up for the service. It's all on blockchain. It's all on smart contract. So through those weather nodes that we spoke about earlier, and a smart contract, if the weather node says it hasn't rained for 30 straight days, the smart contract just automatically deploys a payment to you as the farmer on this network that says like, yo, the smart contract says it hasn't rained in 30 days. Your crops aren't going to make it. Here's the payment that you signed up for. There's no middleman. There's no waiting. It's all on smart contract, just very, very fluid and transparent. So that's exciting. Like that is where we're headed with Web3 and blockchain technology. And there's more. The airline fee for delay compensation. It's hard not to use the word insurance, but it's not insurance, right? It's a fee that you pay for delayed flight compensation, but the oracles are tracking the flights, and the moment a flight is delayed, the blockchain immediately releases payment to you because that's what you bought and paid for and signed up. There's no, you don't have to call and wait on hold for 30 minutes to be like, yo, I'm delayed. I need you to pay me. It's all on the blockchain, and it's instantaneous. When the oracle says this flight was delayed, everybody that signed up for this service, they're going to get their delayed payment.
And I think that's make a very big selling point for airlines using Go plugin services that way, because I think customer service is really a big important part, and having delayed and also waiting for weeks on end to just get compensated, it's just takes a lot of stress out of a lot of their flyers. But I find you mentioned the farming point was really valid actually.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The crop loss compensation DApp that we have, it's for me, like coming from a farming town, like it's amazing technology.
If I remember correctly, like farmers have like a lot of middlemen, and they take forever to get their money in their pockets because the middlemen also have to wait for the banks to remit and everything, and that's on top of all that the time they have to take to actually validate the insurance. So the weather nodes itself, that definitely expedites the whole process, and if the farmers can actually get compensated directly from the smart contract itself, that literally helps the whole farming industry as a whole, because without cash flow, it's kind of hard to do the repairs required from all these potential damages.
Yeah, I mean, our user base, like the people listening to this call and this video, in a retail perspective, like I don't really believe that they appreciate a DApp such as this, but like this is game changing, real world use cases that we need blockchain technology for, right? So like one of the earlier questions was, the empty promises that all the other chains are making, the different tokens making empty promises, they never build anything. Like these are the type of dApps that we're building that truly are going to change the world per se from a blockchain standpoint.
Yeah, if we have any viewers who are come from a farming family, or people who work as customer service and a flight at airlines, you probably know what we're talking about, how excruciating this whole compensation and insurance can be. But definitely, I think the world is really bright for oracles and data feeds, especially that helps out the small people who work in those industries. Make really good points with that. Wonderful. I believe that would be all the questions that we've gone through today. Ronald, do you have any last notes you want to mention?
No, just I appreciate you having us on. I'm happy to be here. Hope the community watching and listening today got the answers they were looking for. Always follow our Twitter, join Telegram channels. You should be able to find that information on the Twitter page. CoinMarketCap usually has a lot of information, CoinGecko, but don't sleep on PLI. Our Oracle service is exploding. The dApps being built by us are exploding. XDC itself as a network has so much potential. The dApps being built right now behind the scenes, like I mentioned earlier, like 30 plus dApps. Everybody's building in this bear market. And when it all just comes to fruition, they all need Oracle services, and PLI is going to provide that. So, yeah, man, PLI is definitely a project that you don't want to sleep on, in my opinion.
Wonderful. Yeah. So everyone heard that. Definitely go on Twitter to follow up for more information. And yeah, we look forward to more changes and adoption in the Oracle sector. Thank you very much, Ronald. I know it's a little bit late on your end. Hopefully we talk to you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much, William. Appreciate you having me, buddy.
Yeah, a pleasure. Have a good night. And for everyone else, look forward to your next AMA. Take care.